Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of FM On Demand with Tara Fitzpatrick. I'm your host, Tara Fitzpatrick, and today is a college episode. I have Jon Buchholtz from the University of Nevada at Reno, and we right away got out of the way. He's not a gambling man, and I'm not a gambling lady, but I have developed this taste for blackjack somehow. So I was curious about that. We didn't waste a lot of time on that, though. We got right to the matter at hand, which is talking about all of the changes in the dining program that they have been working on developing and testing with the new semester. So they did something that we always like to see, which is listening to feedback from the students. That's a great way to do it. But of course, like everybody else, they've got labor issues, and it's like doing more with less. This guy has got the formula kind of figured out. So really interesting conversation here. Yeah, and it's not a gamble to listen to this podcast. Thank you. Welcome, Jon. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's quite the pleasure being able to speak with food management.
For sure. And likewise, very happy to talk to somebody from the University of Nevada at Reno.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
before we get started, I wanted to ask you if you could teach me a little bit about blackjack. Do you know blackjack at all?
No, I am the worst at casino games. They take all of my money, they do it quickly, so I'm usually back in the room or leaving to go home right away.
I'm telling you, I got to visit a crazy little casino in West Virginia a couple of weeks ago with my girlfriends, and I got a
Oh,
taste for blackjack. I'm like, boy, this is fun, but I also didn't win. And that's why I think I'll never have a problem because I literally never win. But
yeah,
I found this, I still have $5 to spend at the Mountaineer. So
yeah. Okay,
look out,
good.
Mountaineer.
I love West Virginia. Yeah, the Greenbrier Resort's there and have been there several times. That's a beautiful establishment.
Oh my gosh. As they say, it's almost heaven. I
Yes.
mean, they're not kidding. John Denver, not kidding.
Yeah.
Dead serious. Yeah, yeah, beautiful countryside. Absolutely.
It really is,
Um,
especially this time of year. This is when I would usually go there. It's beautiful.
yeah, for sure. You'll have to make a little leaf peeping trip for yourself so you can see the beautiful foliage because you don't get a
Yes,
ton of
yes.
that in Reno. I wouldn't think there are.
Not too much, Lake Tahoe's not too far away, but there's a lot of evergreens there. They don't necessarily turn colors. We do have some aspen and birch around that will turn yellow, but it's not as prevalent as West Virginia. That's for
Yes, I
sure.
have seen those yellow trees. I think in Colorado maybe, but those are really cool. Yes,
Out,
that's a
yeah,
nice.
beautiful, beautiful trees.
For sure. So, all right, let's get right into it now. I wanted to see we've done a little story about what you guys did new for this school year, but I wanted to sort of get more behind the scenes with it. And basically, the first question is how did you decide that it was time to revamp the program? There's a few different things that you guys updated. What was kind of like was this something that you just do all the time, or it was like, let's get something new going on here?
Well, so in higher education, it's almost a standard to have to revamp stuff year to year. You have some returning students, and you definitely want to upgrade from the year before or offer some different concepts, different outlets, whatever it may be, just to show them that you're at least trying to keep up with the trends and whatnot. For us, it was a little bit of an easier process. We had a Mongolian grill that we opened up that was built in when they revamped the dining hall, and it
Okay.
was available to us to just take over and move on. So we that was an easy one to
Hmm.
get going and somewhat show that we're upgrading, revamping, and whatnot.
Yeah.
We had some opportunities in our retail as well to offer a grab and go product that was made in house instead of outsourcing. And we also had a couple of outlets that were needing some work done. So we were able to revamp them over the summer and get them opened up with some good staff as well.
Very cool. You did a little bit of everything and made everything better as a whole, kind of, it sounds like.
Yeah, we definitely try our very best to, spread the love, if you will, in terms
Yeah,
of the
right.
volume of people that we're serving. So, it
Yeah,
doesn't benefit us to have everybody go to one outlet. And we
right.
want to make sure that the outlets they go to are up and running, full service, with a well-trained staff. And, so that was our efforts over the summer to make sure that everything was up and running well, well-trained staff, good menus from student surveys that so that they see that we listen to them.
Hmm.
And it seems to be working really well for us this year. We opened so strongly this summer,
Yeah,
this fall.
yeah.
And I mean, I'm just really impressed. It's been one of my best openings so far.
Awesome. Very cool. And some of your students, within that feedback that you just mentioned, they had asked for later hours because it sounds like they're night owls. And maybe this is like when you're in Reno, you're even more of a night owl. You're getting on the slot machine schedule. I'm sorry. I know there's more. I'm sure there's more to Reno than just casino, but
Maybe we're not the only ones that lose money, huh?
yeah, exactly. So it's like they were saying there's, late at night we want some places, we want some snacks, and then but you're dealing with the labor aspect of it. So that's maybe where some of those vending machines came in with the fresh projects. I wondered if you could go into or the fresh products. I wonder if you could go into that a little bit more.
Absolutely. We did open up with some later hours. Those later hours primarily were in retail.
Hmm.
Um, So we have a breakfast and company concept, which breakfast all day, kind of an outlet. This again was student choice. It was number one on the student choice.
Breakfast all day is such a good idea when you're doing things at odd hours or you have to pull
Yeah,
an all-nighter to finish some sort of assignment or something. And it just seems right to have that breakfast
it
when
does.
at 3 in the morning.
It
Well,
does,
you're
but
not open
they
not
they
at
eat
three.
in such large quantities. It's to me, you eat late night, all you want to do is go to sleep, not study. At least I would. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, it's really coming around. We offer a few things on that same menu that aren't just specific to breakfast. It kind of blurs the line between breakfast and lunch, but they are popular items that again the students have chosen as part of what they want to see. So the Breakfast and Company was one that we opened up and a little bit later in the evening.
Hmm.
We have a pizza concept we call Wild Pie that we have open later. Some of our other concepts that are popular with like Asian foods and our market seed store, convenience store, they're open later in the evening. So those most of our late night outlets were geared more towards retail. Now, you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned the vending machines. We will be supplying them also throughout the campus with our grab
Cool.
and go products that we make here in house now. And those will be something that they can have some nourishment even after our hours of operation have shut down.
And that's obviously such a step up than like a vending machine where you're going to find like just prepackaged like your snack foods, your processed food that everyone knows is not the best thing. So how did you find some good items that can kind of stand up to like being in there? Like what are some of the best like items, I guess, that you have?
Well, so we have this concept, the grab and go concept, already in place. I've used it at all of the other accounts that I've worked. So I kind of know what stands up and what may
Oh.
not. Some of the steps to make them more of a viable option in terms of vending machines. The vending machines, though, I mean, we're just going to supply them with the things that are easy to eat while they're
Mm-hmm.
studying, if they're in class or if they're in the library or something where they don't want to have messy food. So they're easy to eat, kind of finger food items.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we also rely a good bit on our corporate team, if you will. I always refer to them as a corporate team. They're part of us. They're all part of us. So
Yeah.
it's rough calling them corporate. I don't think they like that so well, but it's just an easy way of describing them.
Uh-huh.
So, but there's a whole team of chefs and um, account managers that
Yeah.
come together and they talk about what works for them. So when they roll out a menu and we're tweaking it to match our account, we know that the product is going to be sufficient for the students, not only in nutritional value, but also price point, everything. They test and vet everything before they roll it out. So we have a team that does a lot of the hard work for us, and then we just
Mm-hmm.
have to implement it and make sure that we kind of identify the things that work for the account. So we, through experience maybe on my part, and then also, just vetting some product on my end after our corporate team works on it.
Yeah. So the students who are living on campus, they have their choice, they have of where to go, but then there's the retail stuff that just could be anytime. Like it's different than the dining halls. And then so you're saying the vending machines are more like in those locations.
Yes, so we have them in some of our coffee shops that we were having some struggles with labor.
Oh yeah,
The
I wanted to talk
labor
about that
market was a little
too.
tight, so we utilize these vending machines in those outlets.
Mhm.
There is coffee machines that give you high quality espresso kind of coffee, cold and
Nice.
hot.
Mhm.
And coupled with that is our vending machines that we're talking about. So these vending machines aren't like you would maybe envision, where you put
Mhm.
a dollar in and something drops down to the bottom and you get it.
Yeah.
It's just like a refrigerator. They swipe their card and open up the door.
Mhm.
So it doesn't take quite the beating. And again, I
Yeah,
will keep bringing this up. We make it here in house. It's something I'm pretty proud of.
for sure. That is very cool. So in a way, like, have you just found a way to make the labor thing balance? Like you're kind of like, here's this and that, because you're making the stuff. So that's some labor, but maybe
Mhm.
you do it at different times or different hours. Like, I wonder if you could talk a little bit more just about the labor side of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty passionate and for lack of a better way, aggressive with making sure that I recruit good help, and that's usually done through the summertime when we have the opportunity to really do a good job of interviewing
Hmm.
and screening the potential employee. Um, we seem to have a better chance of hiring the right people when we hire cooks as opposed to frontline workers. The frontline workers typically, they may not make as much per hour.
Hmm.
So that's a little deterrent when we're competing against casinos and
That's
whatnot.
right.
But also, the frontline employees typically are students, and they're
Hmm.
not available to come to work until after we open, which is a little too late for those
Yeah.
key positions. So we reserve those for support positions.
Mhm.
So the key employees that we use are cooks typically,
Okay.
at least in this aspect with filling the
Right.
vending machines and doing that in-house grab and go production. So
Right.
that's where we're able to offset the labor, is to hire cooks
Yeah.
that are more behind the scene and available to come in and get trained right before school starts. And then the frontline employees, we reallocate them to those late night outlets that we've just spoke of, and
Okay.
not so much in the coffee shops where we needed them from the beginning.
Okay, that makes sense. It's interesting to get into these operational parts of it sometimes. And I know that our listeners are going to be like taking notes because it's a problem for everybody. Like labor is such a big deal. And with the grab and go, I wish I would have talked to you earlier because I just did a story about grab and go. Isn't that always the way? You find something that you're right after, it's cheese. But I'll be writing about it again because it's a big part, like for all the segments. Like grab and go is pretty big part of business. And another part of business that can be a big part of it is catering. So I wanted to see about how much, because that was another part of your plan where catering got kind of upgraded too. So, like, about how much of the business is it increasing? How's it going?
Our catering business here and is very much like all the other counts out there, I'm sure, where it allows our company to showcase our skills, if you will.
Hmm.
Catering is a higher end outlet. They kind of cater to the staff a lot.
Hmm. For like
The
fancy
president,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, or
Or,
upgraded items as
okay.
well. They don't always want fancy, but we certainly give them very
Okay.
upgraded items through
Hmm.
catering. So with that, our team up there is very talented. They've been here for a while on this campus here, so they know what everybody wants, what they're looking for. So it's been a benefit to us and making life a little easier when it comes to catering, as we have a good team that's been working together for a little while. Um, we revamped that a little bit, not so much a total revamp, but more
Hmm.
of an introduction of student-friendly packages where
Oh,
if they
okay.
want like budget-friendly pizza or like
Yeah.
pre-made sandwiches, no frills kind of thing where they can just grab,
Mm-hmm.
we deliver it. It's it's kind of there and they can just grab it and
Oh yeah, if they're
continue with
working on
their
a
day.
project, a group project somewhere and they want to bring it,
Yeah.
that's nice to make it accessible so people can know. Have you done like marketing around that to let people know like, hey, you can get some sandwiches or what have you?
Yeah, I've often said this that I'm trying not to sneeze here.
Oh,
I've often said this that marketing and culinary have somewhat of a difficult relationship. Marketing is so dead set on timing, 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 and you
oh
can't
yeah, tell me
deviate
about
from
it.
what was originally planned. Um, so uh, culinary, there you got to roll with the punches a little bit more, be a little more
Yeah.
flexible and
Mhm.
bendable, if you will, for
Yeah.
whatever comes at you. So sometimes a difficult relationship. However, this account works really well together with marketing with culinary, and nothing is rolled out, nothing is put together until marketing has had their chance to do all the literature, all the programming, computers, everything, all the posters, everything is out there
Hmm.
on campus and marketing for what we want to do,
Yeah.
and then we are able to roll it out. So they're very much working hard behind the scenes to get it ready and get the word out. So yes, they're very involved. And then through that with the students, they're on every social media outlet that there is available, some of which I
Oh
haven't
yeah.
even heard of, I don't think, but
I know. You never, that's when you know you're getting old. You're like, I don't even know
yep.
what that is. Okay.
Yeah. And
Sure.
and then so along with the budget friendly stuff, we have put together packages that are, the student friendly and budget friendly. So one's more towards students, the other is more geared towards staff members that just want something simple. Maybe somebody's having a birthday and they just need some
Hmm.
cookies or something like that we offer. So those two things
Yeah.
are packages that we've implemented in our catering
Cool.
package. To go back to your question about what kind of volume or how does it play
Yeah.
into our
Yeah.
total amount here, catering's a little bit seasonal as I describe it. Right now it's not as busy as one would think, with catering
Hmm.
being the way it is, just always busy.
Yeah.
And we're always busy, but on the revenue as a whole, we have about 2.5%, 3% of our total revenue right now. But as we
Gotcha.
approach the end of the semester, it'll
Hmm.
pop up to about 13 to 15%.
Whoa, that's a big jump.
Yeah, and it's the staff, with Christmas, end of the
Yep.
semester,
Like holiday
festivities.
parties. Yeah. Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct,
Hmm.
and they utilize our services for that.
Yeah, so you go into high gear probably when it's
Very much
holiday
so.
time, definitely. And I wanted to see if there are any sort of like legendary dishes or menu items specific to this location that people have known and loved for a long time, like I don't kind of regional or is there, because what just it jogged my memory when you mentioned that the catering team, they know what everybody wants. Like I wonder, is there a certain thing that's like just everybody loves there?
You know, I'm gonna have to be a little transparent here. I've only been on the account since December.
Oh, okay. You still
So
have to
I'm
learn the
not
lore of the land.
still learning a little bit of those nuances. I haven't had
Hmm.
anything that I have seen come across the line that was like every catering event has to have this item or something like that. But
Right.
we do have some agricultural facilities on campus,
Oh, I
and
didn't
we
know that.
tend to
Cool.
use them. There's a processing plant for some of our proteins, and then also the university has their own wine label, so we definitely
Cool.
incorporate that into our catering events as well.
Oh, that's so cool. So
Yeah,
you can grow grapes there?
I wouldn't say grapes as much as as far as I know anyway. I don't
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know
We'll have
all
to
the
look into
produce
that.
part.
We'll have to, yeah, put a pin in that. That's interesting. Because
Yeah, but they
I
do
love
process
wine.
animals, so we
Oh,
definitely
okay.
tap into some of the meat product that they offer.
Okay. Is there like is it like an animal husbandry program there that you have? Is it like an ag school?
The school is
Or
not,
oh, okay.
but the that particular department has their own processing plant, as I understand it, and we definitely pull from that.
That's great. So that means you can get fresh cuts, different
Yes,
stuff, different proteins to use, and probably big
yes.
volumes. And they know that you're going to be, that's perfect. I really like when one hand washes the other that way.
Yeah, it works. It's a good relationship too. And they, but it's all that we use that mostly in catering. They're, I don't know they're to the scale to be able to support our residential halls,
Oh,
but they
okay.
definitely can help us out and do during our catering
For the
events.
catering. Gotcha.
Yes.
Nice. And then I wanted to move on to some more personal questions. Are
Okay.
you the kind of person who cooks at home, or do you feel like that's taking your work home with you too much? And if so, what have you been cooking this fall that you've been enjoying?
You know, I taking it home too much. No, I am a chef and I love to cook. Certainly
Hmm.
like the creativity of being a chef and,
Oh, yeah.
playing around with food and stuff. But I do have to admit that I think it's my obligation to sample all the food that's here, especially in residential halls that are served for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So during the school year, most of my nutrition is done through all of our residential halls. And
Nice.
we have staff that are very proud of some of the stuff that they want to offer the students. And we
Oh,
do
yeah.
give them a little bit of that freedom. And they're always asking me to try their
Oh,
food.
try this,
So,
try this. Yes. How
by the
fun.
time the
That's
end of the
such a
day
good part of
comes,
your job. What the heck? Love it.
yes, for sure. But by the time the end of the day rolls around, the last thing I want to do is eat more. So I don't
No,
eat at home as much
no
when
more.
I'm working, but when I do, I love the baking aspect that I don't get to do as much
Oh,
of in on campus here. So, it's not out of the question for me to be baking, hamburger buns or something like that at home, and
oh,
a
how fun.
brisket burger, that I grind up at
Oh,
home, or making something that doesn't use bread, but making a fresh batch of pho at home
oh, yeah,
is something that takes some time. And, when you have
it does.
a good bowl of broth,
Oh my
it's,
gosh.
you almost can't beat it.
Oh, I know. So you're using aromatics. You're going the whole extra mile because sometimes I
Yeah.
use some shortcuts when there's a Hello Fresh that is I had it around here somewhere. I've been showing visual aids lately on my podcast, but oh, this is ramen. Here we go. It's chicken ramen in a shoyu
Yeah.
style
Yeah.
broth. And a
Yeah.
lot of times with these meal kits, sometimes I'm not in the mood for the thing once I get it, but I don't waste it, but I'll use the other stuff and it gets overwhelming. That's
Yeah.
one thing about those.
I don't believe that I've ever participated in having something, that was prepackaged for me, other than maybe a grab and go item, or if
Mm.
I go through fast food when that's all I can get. But,
What's your fast food go to if you must? What's your favorite?
oh my gosh, I was really hoping you didn't ask that.
Tell.
But, it's just, I have to admit, to be honest, you have me blushing now. I, uh, it's usually any convenient place that's on the way home if I am hungry on the way home. But you know, there's several fast food places on campus. Panera Bread is here, have a
Mhm.
burger and stuff, so it wouldn't be out of line to visit them.
Oh yeah.
Um, but that might be the extent of it.
Yes, Panera is good. And
Yes.
I haven't been there in a while. I should check it out. And I found out the one by us has a drive-through. So it's like
Yeah.
I didn't never knew that. I was my daughter was saying, "Oh yeah, it's been there for years." I was like, "I didn't know." But I like their soups sometimes. They're seasonal.
Yeah, they do a
They're
good
not
job.
fresh.
They're solid with their food and
They
training,
do.
and just the way they handle the
They
whole
do.
operation. They're a
They
good company.
do. And yeah, there's a lot of like inspiration sometimes, like in fast casual, like in the way that Chick-fil-A people are always so friendly. And it's like it's not just that they hire exceptionally friendly people, which I'm sure that they do, but like that's a script and that's training. And then they tell them to do it's by design.
That's correct.
Definitely.
Training is everything.
Hmm.
It's really important if, and that's kind of what we employed here with our
Yeah.
staff over in the dining hall. And I think that's what really helped us with our successful opening.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. No, this all sounds really good, and we're gonna stay in touch with you and see how everything continues to go. And I think we're just about at time. So thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, again, like I said, it was truly my pleasure. It's I had some family members that I told that I was going to be on your podcast, and they said, "Are you nervous?" No, I'm not nervous. This is a notch in the belt to be able to talk with food management, especially in the higher ed arena. It's just your magazines are around, and when I was told that this was going to come about, I would have been hell bent to not be on this.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you so much. I've been working really hard, so that's wonderful to hear for me.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, we'll be in touch.